Hi, I'm Rick, and this is a Talk Tonic session here at RetailNOW 2025. With me today is a good friend of mine, Thomas Greenman from Skurlas, point of sale solutions in Anchorage, Alaska. Thomas, thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me. It's been a pleasure being here. It's awesome in Vegas.
Let's talk through a little bit about what you see in our space for AI and where you think things are going and what you'd like to see over the next year or two.
I'd say probably right now, people should be taking advantage of AI from a reporting standpoint. I think reporting or analytics is some low-hanging fruit that people can tackle. You can easily go into Gemini, which is Google's AI product, ChatGPT, all those different ones. As long as you're paying, if you have a paid version, your data is safe. If you're using the free version, don't put any confidential information in there. And that disclaimer, I may be incorrect. Always double check your math when it comes to anything AI, because you never can tell. But you can put that data in there and ask it to find holes in the boat that maybe you haven't thought of before. You know, in my industry, a lot of our customers pull reports for report's sake. Why do you pull this report? This is what I've always done. I always look at these numbers. What are you looking for? Oh, they should be around here. What else are you looking for, really? So I'm really kind of adamant that I want our customers to go out there, look at their reports, and ask AI questions based off of my size, relatively speaking, like my restaurant or what I'm doing. What number should I be looking at? What should I be concerned with? Or looking at this report, what's a problem area that I should be focused on that maybe I haven't explored before? I recently did that for my business and I had the paid version. So I was like, okay, I'm not too concerned with it. But the more data you feed it, like if you just give it one report, it'd be like, oh, you're doing really horrible. So more data, the better. You can give it a better sample size. But it was really interesting looking at my own financials. I'm like, I can see where my customers would need this because they're like me, small. They don't have all the manpower. They don't have all the time. They need that force multiplier to be able to come in and say, hey, here's some problems. Let's look at these. Or here's some of the things you should focus on.
Yeah, I was talking through this earlier with Mike Monticello, who's well-versed on all things in our industry and across managed services and all of the solutions that are out there. One of the things I brought up with him was actionable, right? Like
Yes.
that's one of the challenges with data is you can have data all day long. If you can make something actionable, and then I would like to tie revenue to that, right? You want to be able to make money on that. What do you see as far as, you know, some ways to go about that over the next couple of years, whether it's providing something to your customers where you might be able to monetize that or where they might be able to monetize it from a data standpoint?
With AI, the topics are so broad. I feel like right now, for VARs like me, educating other people, educating your customers on how to use AI, because I've had conversations with my own customers and they're either not approaching it, they don't have an AI strategy, they're scared, or they're just completely clueless. I think the real opportunity is for people like us to be able to go to them and say, here's what you could do. And help them along in that natural kind of path. I don't know if you monetize that in a consulting way or whatnot, but I use AI in my business all the time, and it's changed my world, especially since we're a small company. I need every advantage I can get. I've got a really interesting story. So in Gemini, the Google product, they have a product called Gems. And so Gems are really nothing more than personas. So you can feed it this information and create this persona, if you will. So I know that you and I have the same taste in movies. So seen the movie Weird Science, right? So they're building Lisa and they're feeding it all this information. Like, I want her to play like Beethoven. There's a picture of David Lee Roth. I want her to have that swagger, all this different stuff. And so for me, I do a lot of marketing, and I was like, I've been watching Mad Men. I was like, I need to create Don Draper. So I went to AI and I was like, make Don Draper. And it didn't work. It didn't feel like what it should have been. So then I went back to AI and I was like, there's an option to have like the long dissertation form, not the quick like 5-second thing, but the dissertation. What's the creative genius of Don Draper? So it spit out like just tons of data. So I took that and programmed that gem, and it started to act like how I wanted to act. And so for me, like, AI is not just a tool per se. You can use it to create things that resonate with you. The tool that doesn't get used is worthless. So having a tool that works for you really does work for me. So my Don Draper is perfect. My perfect companion to bounce marketing and sales ideas off of, YouTube strategies, and then I can go back to it and say, like, that's not what I want. Give me something different. Give me the 5-second version, or I need this to be an Instagram script or whatever. It needs to be 30 seconds. I wanted to focus on these types of things instead of me spending an hour trying to figure out what that looks like. I've got an expert that just gave it to me.
Yeah, I've been amazed at some of the stuff I've stumbled across. I didn't embrace AI. I was late to the game, even with ChatGPT and things like that. But I dove in about 8 months ago, right? And there's just obviously so many ways you can go with it. But one of the ones that got me was I don't know if you've played around with Notebook LM, Google's other tool. Yeah.
Slightly, very slightly.
Yeah, I've taken that and I've fed a whole bunch of information into it. And it will actually, with the press of a button, it will build you a 2-person podcast. This is my future. There will be no more Talk Tonics. We're just going to go with AI. No, that's that.
Virtual Rick.
Yeah, we don't want to take out the human element. Maybe some people do.
Yeah.
Anyway, I was amazed at this 2-person podcast where it's a guy and a girl, and they're like, oh, and now we're going to jump into the deep dive, and they go through it, and it is frightening how good it is now. And so to thinking about what those kind of things look like in the future.
I was talking to somebody today after one of the sessions, and they were more concerned with creating the virtual them. And I was like, I don't want a virtual me. I'm like, I don't want more of me. I want people that can help me out, like employees in a way, like virtual employees. I mean, the part about me is that I'm unique, but I don't want something to replace me. And I don't think it would ever happen, but I think that's where some people's methodologies around AI kind of like, I want to replace people. It's like, you're adding people. You're not subtracting people. You're adding more people to your organization. You're doing more with what you have, the more resources. So I think that's where people should try to focus on doing more, not taking away.
Yeah, I do think it is a game changer for being able to expand your horizons without necessarily changing anything. There is this whole concern about people getting replaced by AI. And now you're seeing billboards from like a construction company that says, this building will be finished in 6 months, but it won't be finished by AI, right? I think it is, and it'll shake down. We don't know what the future looks like. That's where I'm excited about some of the stuff that we're doing here at Tonic we're trying to do the proverbial Wayne Gretzky skating to where the puck is going to be, not skating to where the puck is.
Right.
And that's the whole idea that 2 years, 3 years, 5 years down the road, there are going to be things that we can't even conceptualize today. And we want to be in a spot to capitalize on that, whereas maybe some of our competitors or other businesses aren't really thinking that way. They're kind of just head above water and trying to keep up with what's there today.
Yeah, I've heard the term thinking about what's just around the corner as opposed to down the street. And I think the way that change is happening so fast now, it's like you have to look at both. Like, you can't just say what's right around the corner. You have to be focused on what's coming around the street because traffic is moving fast.
For sure. Let's segue this over into something that I think is near and dear to both of us, and that is partnerships. One of the things when I joined Tonic, it was all about being able to create partnerships in a way, essentially creating a partner program that I would have wanted to join as a reseller and be part of. And we all know that there has been so much consolidation in this industry. I remember a couple of partners of one point of sale say, yeah, it's terrible what happened to this point of sale and that point of sale and how they got aggregated and bought up by big payment companies and what that's meant for them as a reseller. But thankfully, my product that's not going to happen with my product. And lo and behold, it did. I've approached everything here with my background of being partner first. And our company is very partner first.
Absolutely.
Can you just take me through what that means to you as a VAR partner?
It means a lot. I feel like my relationship with vendors needs to closely mirror what my relationship with my customers looks like. Like, there needs to be an element of trust. That relationship needs to be strong, but more importantly, it needs to be a two-way street. Like, with my customers, like, obviously they're paying me, but they pay me well, so I take care of them. With my vendors, I want them to take care of me because I depend on them, but they also depend on me for their revenue stream. So for me, it's got to be a good relationship, but good relationships are like the social lubrication that make things go easier. Like, I know you really well. If something happens, I can call you, we can take care of it. And, honestly, in our relationship with Tonic, we've had some bad times, but I'm so recommitted to Tonic whenever those things happen because I know that you guys take care of it. And so it's like any other relationship. Like, I'll give a great story. My wife does not going to watch this, so I could go ahead and tell this. Whenever we moved to Alaska, we'd never really had a really bad fight. And so we're like in Kansas City, Missouri. It's late. We're both hangry or whatever. And we have this really big argument and we're moving to Alaska. And I'm like thinking, maybe this isn't going to work out. And I was really scared. It was a very vulnerable time. And I can just imagine she probably felt the same way. But after it was all said and done, I felt so, and obviously we made up, but after it was all said and done with, I was like, okay, I understand how this works. Like, I understand. I don't have that fear of the unknown anymore. And so I love that. I don't like that these bad things have happened, but I love the fact that they did because I know that no matter what happens in the future, you guys are always going to take care of it for me. Like the response that I had, like I just know it's going to be okay. So to me, that's the relationship that I trust. Good times or bad, that two-way street's always going to keep going. And so to me, that's what I want. I really do.
That's something that we stress. And yeah, we've had a few challenges, a few hiccups here and there, and we own them. And that's the other thing that I like. I want accountability, right? And it doesn't necessarily need to be just product. If something's not right on the partnership side, or you're looking for more, or a reseller needs help with something, being that consultative, what you do for your customers, it's the same. It's that same street is just extended down through our partnerships.
Yeah. And we mess up with our customers. I mean, it happens, but they trust us because they understand that we will take care of it. And it's not to say that you guys do a bad job. You guys do an incredibly great job. We value that relationship so much. It's just that the bad things fill in and inform us of what will happen should something happen. And it's great. It's a relief. With some of the bigger companies, the 800 number companies, the big guys or whatever, I feel like we're kind of out at sea on our own quite a bit. It's like, here's the product, go for it. Well, I need some help with something. Sorry. It's great to have that really great relationship that, like I said, that two-way street where it's like, I need some help. I've got you. Same way with our customers. They need some help. We've got them. It helps me sleep at night. And I sleep pretty good nowadays.
Take me through this. I don't know the entire story, right? I knew Lynn very well when she was in the organization, and I see Lynn and Doug out there in their RV, and I'm extremely jealous. There's my shout out to Lynn and Doug. How are you guys? Love you guys, and things look awesome out there in the wilderness for sure. You're essentially what is a third generation business now, right? Like
basically
taking over.
Yeah.
And so take me through that. The transition, how you guys came to that and what the future looks like.
So when I started at Skurlas, this was like 2008. I had started with another company and I was kind of disillusioned with it. I was working like 70-hour weeks and it wasn't kind of what I signed up for. And I just moved to Alaska and I was like, I need to find something else. I saw them in a LinkedIn thing and I looked at some other companies and they just weren't really doing it for me. And I was like, family run business. I was like, this sounds like a good idea. I mean, I've been in the corporate world for so long and I'd worked for a small business before, but the politics was a little weird. So I interviewed and I think there was a rapport, but knowing what I know now, it was summertime. Everybody was busy. They didn't have a chance to follow up, but I followed up with them. I was just like, hey, I just want to check in. I thought we had a pretty good interview. Is there any kind of update that you would give me? And what Lynn told me was that she really appreciated the follow-up. And that's what she was looking for, that somebody could kind of do something like that. And before I was a general manager in this, I was just a dispatcher, service manager type position. So it was kind of a step down for me, but she saw me keep stepping up. There were points in time I was like, I don't know if this is the right place for me. She sent me to RSPA in Vegas. I think it was 2010. So 15 years ago. And so we were at Mandalay Bay and she introduced me to some RSPA people. And she was like, this is one of my guys. This is my key employee. And I was like, I'm a key employee? I'm like, really? And I took a service class with Bob Bauer. It was 2 days. And I just couldn't believe the community. I couldn't believe the willingness to share and help other people. You know, in the corporate world, it's like, no, I'm not going to help you with anything. And so it really kind of changed my mind. And so I came back and I was like, this is where I want to be. I want to be in this industry. I've been in IT for years, but now I feel like this is a calling. Like there's nothing really glamorous about point of sale. It's not like I'm rubbing shoulders with Beyonce or anything else like that, but there's something here. And I was kind of attracted to it. And so Lynn kind of brought me in with growing patterns in the business. Like she got educational tracks from RSPA, and she would always bring back things that she was working on and she'd learned. And I was like, this is great. This is great. We should do this. And she was like, this is great. We should do this. So me and my business partner, Jesse, we kind of tackled a lot of that stuff with her. And so it was kind of one of those deals. She was like, you helped me build up the company, and, I'll reward you with, ownership and this type of stuff or whatever. And we got pretty far and very successful. Right around before the pandemic, we kind of cut out this deal where we would take over the company. So we did. And I think her last year was 2022, maybe something like that. Yeah, we've taken off since then. Things have changed quite a bit. My leadership style and hers are different, very similar, but different. But I'm much more strategic in a lot of ways. But also I want to keep things simple. Like I've learned from her. Like I'm one of those people that I learn on my own. I make mistakes and I learn from them, but I also have seen the things that she's experienced and learned from those. And I still learn from things from her. Me getting older, I'm like, she's told me all these stories about having to work with her parents and the different things that she's gone through. And they've informed me and shaped me. So in a lot of ways, she's been my greatest mentor. But I've had so many mentors at RSPA. It's hard to say who I owe the most to, but definitely Lynn Skurlas.
That was my speech when I ran for the board. It was all about giving back, but it was the fact that there were so many people in that room who were mentors, and you don't do it alone, right?
No, not at all.
And you learn from everybody else.
Yeah, I'll never be a self-made man.
Right.
Never will.
Let's take a little bit of a jump into your launch with Tonic. You guys took off pretty quickly. And when you were sharing your whiteboard in the office, it's pretty nice to see an actual visual representation of a pipeline. And you said it was pretty simple. Everybody on this list will be a Tonic customer, and some of them probably quicker than we thought would be. And so take me through that. It's been about a year, right, since your first?
Yeah, somewhere around there. It was right around the show. I think we signed paperwork right before the last show. Me and Jesse were having this thing. I was like, has it been a year? It's like, yeah, it kind of has. So a lot of the things that I liked about Tonic were things that I was looking for specifically. More to the point, my customers were looking for. And so, not to name any names, the bread company, 800 number of people or whatever, but there's certain trends in the industry that people were gravitating towards. Having a handheld, something that printed, that paid, did all that stuff at the table, resonates with them. Resonates with me because every time I go into a restaurant or bar with my existing customers prior to Tonic, it was fixed workstation and this and this and this and this, which is all more money, which means the price goes up higher for customers. Or it's an iPad with an enclosure and a card reader and then this and this and this. And so there's 7 or 6 different things that are comprised of this, and it makes it more complex. That's time and money out of my pocket from an administration standpoint, because we have to manage, for one thing, I have to manage 7 different parts. Maybe it's the same manufacturer, maybe it's not. Today, there's a new iPad. Now I've got to get a new enclosure. I wanted it to be simple. Super simple. I want my customers not to have that pain either. They want simplicity. I want simplicity. So with the Deja Vu P8s, fantastic. My customers are looking for that, and they love them. I knew they did. When I saw it at the show, I was like, that's the one. Table layout, print, pay, everything, the whole 9 yards. It's been incredibly well. I can offer a pass program, point of sales service, to our customers at a really low price because it's not a lot of hardware for me. Like maybe there's a fixed workstation in the back, or maybe it's at the bar or whatever, but everybody else has a handheld and they're going to town. They don't have to go to a printer that costs them maybe $400 or $500 and print something out. They can do it right then and there. One of our customer servers said, I want to marry this device. It saved me that much time. And I knew that's what the experience was going to be. And so I saw it, and I guess I was just lucky that you guys came around at the right time and I jumped on it. We were able to really kind of push that momentum into more people. Like, hey, they're doing this. This is what we've got. Do you want to try it? Yeah. And so nobody wants to go first, but we had some people that did. And so we took that momentum, we just ran with it.
As a big sports fan, I know one of the hardest things to do is, repeat winning a championship back to back. So we named you Tonic Partner of the Year 2025. What's in store to keep the title for next year?
Going to Disneyland. Momentum, really. I want the buzz to keep going. I want more fresh installs. Obviously, Tonic wants that too. But to have more installs out there to where, hey, what's that? That's cool. What is that? I want that fascination with technology to still resonate with our customers. Like, oh, hey, we don't do that. We don't have one of those. Do you like it? Yeah, of course you do. I want my customers to be my biggest salesperson. I want them to go out there and talk to other people. In our market, a lot of our customers go to their competitors' restaurants to eat or drink. It's pretty common,
right?
And they'll talk shop late at night or whatever, and it'll come up. So sometimes that does happen. We'll have more business come from other customers, and that's really the best way that you could do it. I mean, they're already sold the time they come to you. They're like, so-and-so's got that. I like that. This is what I want.
Yep. Viral point of sale.
Like, here's your paperwork. Let's do it.
When I got my reseller business to that point back in yesteryear, we'll say, that's where it all came from, right? I had this mentality that if a customer of ours wasn't willing to go out and be a reference for us, whether it was us sending somebody to them or them just, going out and proselytizing what we were doing, that really did lead to that point where half of our business was coming in, just via word of mouth.
I feel like if your customers aren't excited about the product, maybe it's not the right product. And we've had years where people were just not excited with what we were doing. But with Tonic, there has been excitement about it. People like the aesthetics. They like the way it operates. And they like the fact that we're excited about it, because that kind of comes across. If our staff are like, yeah, you should be using this, instead of like, oh my God, you got to see what this thing does. So-and-so down the street loves this, and they're doing it like this, blah, blah, blah. Like, that resonates with people. Like, hey, like, they really believe in it. And if you don't believe in your point of sale partner, it's a bad relationship, and if they're not exciting you, maybe it's not the relationship to be in. It should be exciting. It's like a personal relationship with anybody else. If you guys aren't having fun, what are you doing?
Yeah, it's very clear with you and Jesse and Julie and the rest of the team that we sense that excitement. We can see that you're excited to take Tonic to market, and that's awesome from our side. It's fantastic. Well, that wraps us up here today for our Talk Tonic session at RetailNOW 2025. I want to thank my guest, Thomas Greenman from Skurlas. Thank you for being here today.
Thanks for having me. It's been a pleasure.
It's always a pleasure to hang out with you, my friend.
Same here.